Gen 3 to 6K power solutions. We suggest you take a moment to read the user manual before the installation. Please ensure that the ambient temperature ranges from 25 to 60 degrees Celsius, and that the operational altitude does not exceed 2,000 meters. Place the inverter on a well-shaded site to proof the direct sunlight, rain and snow, etc. Mount the inverter on a wall at an angle of 75-90 degrees to the ground, at a height where the display screen is at eye level. For parallel system, please maintain the minimum clearances presented below for adequate heat dissipation. Ensure that you have the following tools with you. The inverter is a wall mounting type. 2 people may be needed to install the inverter due to its weight. Place the mounting bracket upright. The bottom of the bracket should be 2.5 inches higher than the eyesight level. Mark the drill holes positions with the mounting bracket, then drill 4 8mm, 0.31 inch diameter holes, making sure the depth of the holes is deeper than 50 mm, 2 inches. Install and tighten the expansion bolts into the holes. Then, use the corresponding nuts and washers, packaged together with the expansion bolts, to attach and secure the wall mounting bracket to the wall. Hang the inverter onto the wall mounting bracket. Secure one hex socket countersunk screw on the right side of heatsink with the 4mm Allen key. A sheet following shows the adequate power cable. Step 1. Strip from 0.25 to 0.31 inch, 6 to 8 mm, insulation from the cable end and crimp cable lugs for the cable ends. Step 2. Route the battery power cable through the cable seal and socket, connect positive to bat plus, negative to bat dash. Step 3. Secure the cable lugs to the battery terminals with the 4mm Allen key. Step 4. Secure the cable gland in place. Refer to the sheet for adequate cable selection. Please double-check the lowest ambient temperature of the installation location. Strip from 0.25 to 0.31 inch, 6 to 8 mm, insulation on the PV strings positive and negative conductors. Assemble the cable ends to crimp contacts. Lead the cable through the cable seal and socket, then insert into the corresponding insulator until it snaps into place, then tighten the cable gland. Notice, you will hear a click sound if it's fitting in place. Route the PV conductors through the conduit fitting and into the inverter. When verified the PV connector is tightly, align the 2/2 connector and mate them together by hands until click is felt or heard. A sheet following shows the cable requirement. Notice, for disassembling the connectors, please press the plastic fitting. Step 1. Strip off from 0.31 to 0.39 inch, 8 to 10 mm, insulation sleeve on the cables. Step 2. Use wire ferrules if the cables are made of fine stranded wires, and crimp it. Step 3. Assemble the gland. Step 4. Thread the AC cable through the cable seal and socket. Insert the conductors fully into the corresponding terminals of the terminal block and tighten the screws with Allen key. The terminals have polka-yoke design. Please refer to the image to ensure correct AC cable connection. Assemble the grid connector, ensuring that the ribs of the terminal block and the grooves on the housing are fully engaged until you feel or hear a distinct click. Notice, install an AC circuit breaker, AC switch, between the inverter and the grid. Before connecting the AC cable from the inverter to the AC circuit breaker, ensure the AC circuit breaker is functioning properly. Close the AC circuit breaker and leave it in the open position. Connect the PE conductor to the grounding pole, and connect the N and L conductors to the AC circuit breaker. Step 1. Strip off from 0.31 to 0.39 inch, 8 to 10 mm, insulation sleeve on the cables. Step 2. Use wire ferrules if the cables are made of fine stranded wires, and crimp it. Step 3. Assemble the cable seal and gland and thread the AC cable through the cable seal and socket. Insert the conductors fully into the corresponding terminals of the terminal block and tighten the screws with Allen key. Step 4. Align the load connector with the AC terminals, and manually engage them until you hear or feel a distinct click. Notice, install a separate single-phase circuit breaker or other load disconnection device for each inverter to ensure safe disconnection under load. The inverter features residual current detection and protection functions. If the inverter must be equipped with an AC circuit breaker with residual current detection capability. An AC circuit breaker with a rated residual current greater than 300 mA must be selected. Step 1. Strip off from 0.31 to 0.39 inch, 8 to 10 mm, insulation sleeve on the cables. Step 2. Route in cable lugs and crimp them. Step 3. Assemble the cable seal and gland and thread the cable through the cable seal and socket. Insert the conductors fully into the corresponding terminals of the terminal block and tighten the screws with Allen key. Step 4. Align the generator connector with the terminals, and manually engage them until you hear or feel a distinct click. We suggest a model with a 26 amperes output and a power rating of 6,000 watts. The maximum output should not exceed 35 amperes with a power rating of 8,000 watts. The generator start signal shall be connected to the COM board GEN nominal open or nominal close port, if users want to start generator remotely. Connect to the dry contact terminal for remote start. Step 1. Disassemble the port cover and take out the rubber cylinders. Step 2. Route the cables though cable seal and make sure the battery communication cable is routed the inverter side. Step 3. Route through the fitting and eject the rubber plug, squeeze the cables and then assemble the port cover. Step 4. Plug in the CT and battery communication cable, then secure the port cover. Step 5. To measure the power import from and export to the grid, a CT or 1 meter must be installed at the service entry point in or near the main service panel. We standard supply 1 CT for 1 inverter. Clamp the CT on the L wire of the grid cable and make sure CT is pointed to the inverter. Plug then secure all screws of the dongle. Please refer to the dongle user manual for Wi-Fi connection. For detailed instructions on connecting the Wi-Fi dongle, please refer to other videos published by Luxpower. All connection complete. Warning: please double-check the polarity of the wires to prevent miswiring. Install the guardrail barrier. We suggest to turn on the battery switch and PV switch to test the off-grid output, then turn on the breaker on the grid side if it is normal. After the installation, you will be able to set the inverter on LCD.